Hello and konnichiwa. I am the Mega 76 and I know I'm a week late. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't excuse being late, but I do have the first kit here, and getting it out of the box, there is the regular version's instructions. There is a separate sheet just adding the briefings for the Earth colour variant, which is this variant for the 45th anniversary. And there's the 2 bags with all the runners and also the stickers, which is a lot, surprisingly. So let's get started, I guess. The first kit on the channel. So we've got here the runner for all of the light bluish turquoisey parts that are the predominant replacement for the white. So on the original kit, all of this would have been white. I'll put that runner just next to me. Then you've got the sticker sheets, which I'll put up there for the moment. Then you've got the greyish blue parts, which would normally be just the matte grey on the regular version. Bag. Go. Then we've got all the other colours, so the greens, the beam sabers, and the blue chest. And that should be all the parts then gathered, because you've got the softer beams and the softer joint parts, considering this is based off the model of an older kit. So, other bag away. So if I move things, I can move clippers, put the grey parts there. And what you're going to need for a kit like this, for a high grade, really all you're going to need is a set of nippers, just to get the plastic off the runners and get all the parts together. So I'll move this piece of paper there. I'm not going to put the stickers on until after the build, unless the stickers have to be put on while I'm building. So, that's a hefty set of instructions. God, that's a lot. So, going off what the instructions say, the first part we need to do is the body. So I need pieces A6 and A12. And this runner here is runner A. So the colour variant pieces. So I need A6, which is this blue piece here. That blue piece, which I'm going to cut off by cutting it at all 3 points, like so. Then I've got that piece split off, ready to be used. The blue does seem to leave behind traces from where you cut, but that normally happens with a blue of that kind of piece, so very normal. Sorry if I'm sniffling a bit, I'm a slight bit under the weather, but nothing too serious. And then A12 is this piece right here. We need to cut this piece off. So far the build does seem to be very similar to the entry grade version. What I did, instead of cutting all 3 bits just there, is I cut 2 of the bits and I popped it out, which can be done to make things go by a tiny bit quicker, but I really need to get myself some tissues, but you know, I do have some near me, so I can just grab those if needed. Then this piece here is going to slide in here. Those holes in the bottom connect with these pegs here. So if I push them together like so, here we have the chest plate. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to grab a tissue. Thankfully, I've got one next to me. Apologies that I'm under the weather a little bit, but it has been cold here in the UK. Next up, I'm going to need both bits called PC2. This is the PC runner, and these two parts here are PC2. So I'm going to have to separate both of them from our little runner, which is very easy considering they are soft plastic. You might not even need to use nippers for them. You can just snap them right out of there without any kind of traces being left behind, as far as I can see. I have got my LEDs on, so apologies if it's a bit dark. If needed, I will just let a little bit of light in. So I could very well just open the curtains to, yeah. So everything can be seen a little better. I'm just going to do that just to let the rest of the light in. So everything can be seen easier and everything can be done easier. So we've got those pieces in now, and what I have to do is take those little offshoots that are hanging over the edge and slide them into the gaps in the top, like so. Just like that. Then I have to do the same on the other side, just to make sure they are both in nice and snug. Just like that. This is slightly a little bit more complex than the entry grade version, which I have built already. I have built some kits. I believe I've built 6 kits before this, but that is just because I wanted to see if I actually enjoyed the hobby before starting it as a YouTube channel. So next I need from runner C, which is our special shiny colour. I need number 35, which is this piece here, if you can see that on the camera. Not entirely sure, considering I can't see it myself on the camera because I'm recording this on my phone and my phone screen is turned away from me. But I do have this piece cut out, ready to go. And next I'm going to bring back this PC bit and clip off PC number 4, which is this almost dome style piece. So I will just clip those off. Apologies if the audio is a bit echoey. I'm currently in a very empty room. Oh, the piece decided to flick over here because I used my finger to push it out. That is a slight problem you get when trying to push pieces out with your finger. And next, the instructions do say to slide the PC4 onto the peg of C35. So that peg, ensure that this lip here is facing upwards, so it's towards the top of the piece, and then ensure that it's this side of PC4 going into C35, just like so. It should make a little pop once you've pushed it in. So then this combination of PC35, of PC4 and C35 will be popped into the bottom of this here, considering it is a ball joint, so it will just pop right in. And that's what gives us our ab crunch for the kit. Then I need A8, which is on this runner again, and A8 is this trans green part here. It is a slightly translucent green, so where it's cut will be very obvious. So be warned of that. But on all these, especially on either very matte colours or on either dark colours or very, what's the word? Not shiny per se, but almost specially tinted colours. The run bits that have been cut off are going to be very obvious. So you're going to want to take A8 and you're going to want to slide it in between, just like so. And that is how it goes in. That should not come out. That is quite secure in there. Then what you'll need to do is you'll need to take A5, which is your other bright blue piece, and you're going to want to cut that off of your runner. And then you're going to want to plug it into the back where the hole for the neck, where this hole that's half is pointing upwards, because that's where you're going to plug in the neck of the head, I presume. So once that's popped in, it should look something like this. That's the size of your upper body. It does seem to be the same size as the entry grade, considering I've got it above me. So it does seem to be the same size. Then what you'll need to do is you'll need to cut A9, which is this piece right here. It's going to be much easier to point to pieces when there are less of them on the runner. But this is a simpler kit compared to some that I've done. Oh, apologies for knocking the camera. Is everything still aligned? Yeah, everything is aligned perfectly. Next up with A9 is you're going to want to pop it in to that hole there. And take that peg and it's going to go right in that hole. And that is the completed ab crunch joint there. Then next up, you're going to want to take A14, which is this brighter piece, and you're going to want to clip that off here. With how I've just pulled it off, there's been a little bit of excess plastic, so you're just going to want to take your cutters and trim that off if there's any kind of excess plastic that could cause a cut. So you're also going to want to grab PC1, which is this neck joint here at the top. It's the separate one, because all other PCs have at least two of them. This is the only one where it's just a singular piece. So I'm just going to turn it and pop it off. Doesn't take too much force whatsoever, but that's how you get the neck out. Then you're going to want to do this in an order. On the instructions, it says to make sure that this side this way, for PC1 is facing forward, so the neck should slant that way towards the front. So first you're going to want to pop in this neck brace piece where it's almost like the collar. Then you're going to want to pop in the neck peg just there, and it should set in perfectly like that to where it's almost exactly lined up. Now we're going to be making the backpack. This is still part of the torso. So you're going to want to grab C24, which is this piece right here. And you're going to want to trim that off with your cutters, like so. Put that over there. Then you're just going to want to take those two pegs that are off the back and plug it into there, and it should slot right in following the curves of the torso, just like that. Then you're going to want to grab C36, which is a smaller part, like this, these two. You're going to want to get both of them, trim them off, both of them, trim them off. For me, I just twisted and popped, but that's just because it's easier for me with small parts, because I don't want to accidentally damage them with my cutters. So there are these two holes in here that these slots should go perfectly into, like that. Then you're going to want to do the same with the other one. Let me just line that up right. Takes a little bit of lining up sometimes. Other times it happens quite easily. Considering the first one, I was leaning over and I still did it perfectly. Then you're going to want to grab the B runner, which is this one here. You're going to want to get bits 8 and 9, which are these two and these two. These two and these two, just so you can see that a bit better. You're going to want to cut off all 4 of those pieces, just moving the covering for my nippers. I'm going to pop these off like so with your cutters. And these bits are quite important considering you will have to do this move twice for both of the pieces. So you're going to grab one B8 and one B9, and you're going to want to pop them together like so. I'll show you again with my other B8 and B9. Going to want to... Oh, I just dropped the piece. Great. Got it. Pop it together like so. Then, once you've got them popped together, you want to take your body, grab them, make sure this tab is facing backwards, and you're going to take this peg and just pop it in there. Like so. You're going to want to do the same on the other side. Just like so. Hang on. Yep, that's enough. That's okay. That's perfect. There we are. So that is your body complete. Put that off to the side. Now I'm going to build the head. So you're going to want to take your A runner once again and cut off A1 and A3. So A1 is this translucent piece right here, and A3 is the green piece. They are the translucent piece is very difficult to cut, but I've just about managed it. Then you're going to want to cut off the piece that is A3. My apologies if I keep looking backwards and forwards and not making a sound. This is just me double reading the instructions. So it seems to say here that you want to put sticker number 1 onto A1, which is very difficult in my expert opinion, considering I'm so smart. But you're going to want to take piece number sticker 1 and put it on piece A1. With the stickers, they are very difficult to do. Like, my hands are huge and I struggle with this bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to move it close to my face so I can see what I'm doing. If you have a magnifying glass, great, use that. It would really help you to have one of those. But I have managed to do it just like that. That's how it should look. Then it says here that you're going to want to put stickers 2 and 3 on the inside of this piece. I don't see why you won't be able to see them, but I'll do it anyway. So you're going to want to take sticker 2, take your piece here, and you're going to want to just wriggle it a little and get it right, just so. This is the most difficult bit of the whole thing because it's so small and tricky and I always mess up with the stickers. Especially when building the Gundam Aerial, that was one of the most difficult stickers I've ever had to do. So that was sticker number 2. It's a bit shoddy, but it's enough, I guess. Oh, I need a tissue again. There. Again, I am very under the weather. Next, I'm going to grab sticker number 3 and just do the same thing again. Or at least try to, anyway. Considering sticker number 3 is deciding that it would rather stick to my hand. And now it's gone backwards. Perfect. This sticker part is the most annoying bit of this entire kit. It's off, but it's enough. Yeah, that's very annoying. But now you're going to want to take A1 and slide it in A3. So it covers up exactly where your stickers just were. There's a lot of Japanese text on the instructions that I cannot read. So I think it says, you can either. Hang on. Is that what it says? Let me just check what each symbol means. The symbol that is on there means you can either. So I just did that for no reason. But it's good that I decided to do it because it means that I will have an empty sticker sheet when everything is said and done. So I can throw it away instead of to keep in a box. Now I need B25. That is not B. B is this runner. Remember things. B25 is this face mask piece right there. So I'm going to cut the face mask piece out of its place, put it there on my mat just for a second while I figure out which way it needs to go. It needs to go this way. Then you're going to slide it on the face where it's underneath the eyes so the chin goes in the right place, just like that. It's very annoying, but it works. Then you're going to want to take B20, which is this piece here. You're going to want to cut it off. And you are going to want to slide the face into that gap there. That hole is where that peg goes. Just like so. Then you're going to want to take B19, which is this piece here. You're going to want to trim that off. And then you're going to have to slide it onto the front to complete the face. There's a few pegs that need to be lined up, but when you're done, it should turn out something like that. Then you're going to want to take sticker number 5, which is very small, and you're going to want to put that in. Oh my god, it's small enough to go under my nails, which it has decided to do, but I've got it now. So you're going to want to, oh yeah, that's very difficult because it's actually got to go in. Oh my god. All of this was colour separated on the entry grade. I'm going to use my nippers to get in there and just push it. Just so it actually goes in. Really, if you want to do this, you should have like a carving knife, because it's got a bit of a thinner blade, which allows you to push it in just that tiny bit better. There we go. I've got it. It's wonky, but it's enough. That's how mine looks, but if you're more experienced at building things like this than I am, it should look a bit better. Great. Now I have to take sticker number 6, which is this other little one. That small. And I'm going to want to put it in the back of the head. Lovely. Oh my god, and I decided to drop it. There it is. I found it. Oh. Stickers are annoying. There we go. I realised how to do it with just my hands. Just use the nippers to make sure it's all the way in. But it should go in there. Like so. So yeah. That's how that goes in, and that's the most annoying thing I've done today. Now I'm going to take B21, which is this feathery, almost like those bar bits there. Didn't really know how to describe it for a second. Just got to cut it off at 1 point. You don't got to cut it off at 3 like it looks like. It is just 1 point. The other 2 are there to just make sure it's stable. Yeah, I've just read further into the instructions. That symbol did mean either or. So I did not have to do those silver bits, but I decided to do the silver bits anyway. Woohoo! I made myself suffer for no reason. Then you're also going to want to grab A2, which is this piece right there. This little tiny piece. With some of the pieces that are on sprues, no, on the runners, that's what they're called, on the runners, they will have this gap in them, this like hole, and there's a chance that those will snap when you're cutting the piece. So don't let that make you think you've dropped the piece. On my first building of a kit like this, where it's that kind of piece, I realised that all too late. So you're going to want to take your A2 piece, which is your green piece, and you're going to put your other one into the gap, and it should come out something like that. Then you're going to want to slide that in there, and it plugs right into the head like that. And that is your head done. So you're going to put your head off to the side with the body. And that is the end of this first part in building the RX-78-2 Gundam Earth colour for the 45th anniversary. Thank you so much. See you next week for the next part of this build. And again, sorry about this video being late. Goodbye.